We naturally think of Britain as an island, but for thousands of years there was no English Channel. You could walk from the modern coast of East Anglia straight across to Germany. This map shows the drowned landscape archaeologists call Doggerland. Before the oceans rose, this vast plain functioned as the ecological bridge of northern Europe. During the early Holocene, rivers braided across massive wetlands, supporting dense forests and open grasslands. This huge landmass provided a permanent, thriving frontier. For the communities living here, it was a rich homeland capable of sustaining human expansion for millennia. The people who inhabited this plain belonged to a genetic population known as Western hunter-gatherers, or WHG. They formed a vast network of mobile communities spread right across Western and Northern Europe. We see their physical evidence in Mesolithic remains recovered across Britain, including this famous skeleton known as Cheddar Man, dating back about 10,000 years. DNA analysis from early individuals reveals a specific combination of physical traits. Many of these early Britons possessed darker skin pigmentation, combined with dark hair and light-colored eyes, frequently blue. To survive, these communities tracked massive migratory animals, like the large red deer, alongside wild horses, elk, and abundant waterfowl. They navigated a complex ecological network. These earliest inhabitants observed and adapted to the shifting conditions of the plain with absolute precision. You couldn't build a permanent village on this terrain and stay put. Life in Doggerland required continuous, kinetic mobility. Human movement was directly structured by the environment. Groups moved through the landscape as they followed predictable ecological cycles, the seasonal migrations of deer across the plains, or the arrival of spawning fish in the river networks. We know how they hunted because their tools are still being pulled from the floor of the North Sea today. These microlithic flint blades were highly specialized. Hunters fractured the stone to create incredibly sharp edges for precise cutting and processing resources. And for the rivers, they carved these barbed bone points and antler harpoons. The heavy barbs were necessary to secure slippery, thrashing wetland fish. Walking across Doggerland was a highly technical skill. A successful traveler had to read the shifting wetlands and tidal movements to stay alive. But the global climate was rapidly warming. The great ice sheets of the last glacial period were actively melting. This map shows melting ice sheets caused a steady rise in global sea levels, slowly flooding the plain's lowest parts. Then, around 6200 BCE, the Storegga Slide, an enormous underwater landslide off the Norwegian continental shelf, displaced a colossal volume of ocean water. The slide generated a powerful tsunami. Waves reaching 10 to 20 meters high slammed into the remaining coastlines of the North Sea basin. That wall of water violently struck the low-lying settlements, devastating coastal camps and wiping out crucial hunting grounds in a matter of hours. The wave was catastrophic, but it merely accelerated a process of inundation that had been slowly consuming the land for centuries. The tsunami did not instantly destroy Doggerland. The continent didn't vanish beneath the waves overnight. The massive waves simply accelerated an ongoing process. Over a few generations, the rising ocean dissolved the remaining land bridges into a scattered series of isolated islands. Eventually, the waters completely filled the lowlands, forming the borders of the modern English Channel and the North Sea, leaving Britain completely geographically isolated. When the physical landmass disappeared, the people living there had to radically adapt to survive. The surviving hunter-gatherers shifted their entire way of life toward these steep, emerging coastlines. The deep ancestral knowledge they had acquired from tracking wetlands and tidal flows translated directly into mastering maritime and island survival. They learned to navigate open water and harvest the newly formed shores. It stands as one of the earliest recorded examples of human resilience in the face of massive environmental upheaval. The drowning of Doggerland did not end their world. It forced them to adapt, establishing the foundational prologue to the human history of the British Isles.